यस राम, गुड मॉर्निंग। लिंक भेजो। हाँ, भेज दो। Hello everyone, good morning. If you can hear me, just give me a yes in the chat. Vivek, Gaurav. Can you hear me? Okay, lovely. Just about 10:30 and as usual, Indian Standard Time. I need to give a couple of minutes for everyone to come in. So, good morning, Chandrasekhar. I guess Ram. Just waiting a couple of minutes more for everyone to join in. Then we will start. Welcome Ashok Kumar, welcome Vikash. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, the same presentation was done during the Algos convention in Gandhinagar last Sunday or last Saturday, but unfortunately we did not have the time to actually look at the charts which were suggested by the audience. So, bulls, bears, and dinos. Do you want to be a dino or do you want to be a bull or a bear? Decide for yourself. Do you want to be a dino who will have both bulls and bears for lunch? Your choice. If you like, do like, share, and subscribe. Help me by sharing and liking. That will help me a lot in taking the message and spreading the knowledge. What I'm going to show you today is some of the most hidden secrets of Gann, which I have distilled from his books. And when we apply it to charts, wait with me, it will be a slightly long presentation. It will be about an hour and a half. And by the end of it, when I start looking at your charts of your choice, then you will see the difference on how the time cycles actually work and how you are able to forecast trend changes. Now we will look at the largest trend changes, and well, now I'm running ahead of myself. It's 10:36. Let's begin with the presentation. Now, in any chart, you normally see there are two axes. The x-axis in any graph, actually, you have two axes: the x-axis and the y-axis. In the case of the stock market chart, you have the x-axis, which represents time, which could be in hours, minutes, seconds, days, weeks, months, and you have the y-axis, which is the price. Now, when you look at technical analysis, almost all of them only concentrate on the y-axis. They leave the other half of the equation, which is the x-axis, totally untouched. Now, the x-axis is actually half the equation. So, the aim of this presentation is to show you what actually happens on the y-axis, what is time and all, to make it a wholesome understanding of the markets. Now you will notice that the x-axis, because it has not been explored so much, is more precise than the y-axis. How? We will see today. So the first question I ask everyone is, why should the market give you money? Why? When I ask anyone, why will anybody give you money in the universe or in the world, the universe only gives you money when you have something better to deliver to your fellow man. Meaning your fellow man will give you money if you have something better. Similarly, coming to the stock market, the problem here is everyone uses the same thing. Nobody has anything special. So when you talk of an analysis, you are looking at the moving averages, you're looking at the RSI, you're looking at it. Now this is something everyone is looking at. Now what is so special that the market has to reward you? Think about it. You got to have some edge over everyone, and if you don't have that edge, you will not be getting anything from the market. In the end, you will hand over whatever is your precious capital to somebody else who has an edge over you. Think about it. Now, today in this presentation, we will see first what is time, then we will see what are time cycles, then we will understand a very important concept about time, which is expansion and contraction of time. When we talk about time, everybody thinks that time is fixed. Time is a measure. It is 21 days means 21 days of 24 hours. That's how we have been conditioned to understand time. But time itself is not a constant. Time expands and contracts. How does it expand and contract? What is the effect it shows on the market? We will see in the presentation today. Then we will understand two different kinds of cycles. At a very basic level, we will understand these two concepts, sidereal and synodic cycles. What are they and how do they affect the market? After understanding this, we will go to real market charts and apply it, see what happened in the past, and then also try to forecast what will happen in the future. Now, I will not be doing any forecast. I will show you what happened in the past. Now, you can make your own judgment based on what has happened in the past. It's entirely up to you, but you will see that it is fairly simple, easy, and extremely fast. You don't need to think much. What the market is very clear. It is telling you what it is going to do. So just pay attention, stay with me till the end of the presentation, and I will show you the real magic of the markets. It's sheer magic when you see the results. Now this is what we will see. What is time? Time cycles, expansion and contraction, sidereal and synodic cycles, and real market application. Alright, should I move ahead? Yeah, there is a lag between my words and so the first question we have to ask is, what is time? Imagine there was a time, or imagine thousands of years back, one person wanted to meet another the next day. Now this is a time when there are no clocks, there are no watches. Time itself as a concept has not been created. So how will he tell somebody that he will meet him the next day and at what time? See, they had no concept there. So the way it started was, he will meet tomorrow when the sun is overhead, which is noon as we understand. And then it became like, we will meet when the sun rises, we will meet when the sun is in overhead, then we will meet when the sun is setting. Now, how would that happen? What would that be in the night? So there are different questions here. So over a period of time, time itself evolved as a concept, and that concept was based on the movement of the planet. So if you actually look back and think, time is basically the movement of a planet or planets or the sun and the moon. Now, how is it? Let us see. One day is one rotation of the earth. But as I said before, time also expands and contracts. The, let's take, if a day is from sunrise to the next sunrise, the duration of the night and the day in the whole year changes. It is not constant. You may have heard about the summer solstice when you have the longest day, the winter solstice when you have the longest night or the shortest day. Then we have the two equinoxes when we have day and night of equal length. So is the time of the day, which is 24 hours, is it fixed? Do we have a longer day and a shorter day? Yes, we do. Thus, the day from one sunrise to another sunrise is also not fixed. There is a variation which keeps going on. So the original concept of the day was sunrise to sunrise or noon to noon, when sun would be above our head every day. That was the original concept of the day. So we can now put it as one day is one rotation of earth around itself. The second thing we need to understand, or we need to appreciate, that a month is actually a full moon to a full moon. Now, why is it a full moon to full moon? Because while the earth goes around the sun in a year, 365 days, during the time the earth makes one circle around the sun, the moon makes 12 circles around the earth. Understand? Which is why we have 12 months in a year. Otherwise, this whole system of time just simply doesn't make sense. 12 months in a year, 4 weeks every month, 30 days in a month, 7 days in a week. It seems a little absurd and totally some arbitrary system. But it is not an arbitrary system. There is a perfect logic and science behind it. There is a perfect system of doing it, which is what we will understand today and see how it actually relates to the market. So, why do we have 12 months? We have 12 months because by the time Earth does one circle around the sun, the moon does 12 circles around the Earth. And that is 29.53 days. So we have a month of 30 days. Now, in the full month, the moon actually goes from full moon to a new moon, Amavas to Punam, as we have seen or as we know, from Amavas to full moon. So Amavas to full moon is 15 days, which period is called a fortnight. In this, if you again see, from the new moon to the half moon to the full moon to the half moon to the new moon, there are 4 parts of 7 days each, which is what makes a week of 7 days. So you see, there's a perfect logic of why we have 12 months, why we have 4 weeks, why we have 7 days in a week. Now, the human being is also subject to all these natural phenomena. The moon creates tides, the moon creates hurricanes, the moon creates all the rain, the moon creates many phenomena on earth because of its huge size and its close proximity to earth. So the moon also influences the water in your body, and because of such an action, it will also influence how you think. And how does it work? We will see later in the presentation, but just understand right now, a month is basically a circle of the moon around the earth. Now, when I ask what is a quarter, many will say 90 days. But it is not 90 days, as I was explaining in the session. It is not 90 days. The A quarter is actually one cycle of Mercury round the sun, which is 87.88 days. So what is it actually? While the Earth makes one circle round the sun, Mercury will make four circles around the sun. Okay. Now, seen from the Earth, it is a little different, but we will only concentrate on how it looks, how the cycles are defined from the point of view of the sun. All right. Now, and then finally we have 1 year, which is one revolution of the Earth around the sun. So is that clear? That makes it very simple and easy. The rotation of the Earth is 1 day. A full moon to a full moon is a month. Actually, it is mooneth in Latin. Mooneth to mooneth became month to month. One cycle of Mercury is a quarter, which is 87.8 days. If you remember, many days back I had tweeted and I said, check for 22-day cycles. What are they? They are 1/4 of the Mercury cycles. You can always see the 22-day cycle in the market. Now, it doesn't work exactly as you expect a 22-day. It is not an exact maths, because you do not know how to apply it and where to begin and where to end it. But these 22-day cycles remain. I hope that is clear, and I am moving ahead to show what are time cycles. The next question we need to see is, what are time cycles? Time cycles? Very simple. We have already seen that time itself is based on the movement of the planet. So that the planet moves around and round and round and round and round and round the sun. So this is how we have the planet moving when we look at it from the top view, that it is moving round and round and round and round. Now imagine this planet or this movement being watched from the side, which would be like this. So when this moves round and when the planet moves around and round, if you watch from the side, it seems like it is going up and down because of the later view. Now this later view, when you post it like an ECG on a timeline, this is what it looks like. Okay. Now it looks like a sine wave. Now I have made it equal, but this actually expands and contracts, how we will see later. But at the moment, understand that the movement of the planet in a circle is translated into a sine wave. So this is what creates the cycles, which we divide and then we call it different cycles, and we will apply it to the buckets and see how it works. Now, when the planet moves a full 360 degrees, it is called a one full cycle. So it could be from one point till it comes back to the other point, and you could measure it, because a circle doesn't have a beginning or an end. You can measure it from any point on the circle. So one full cycle is 360 degrees on the cycle. So when you look at the sine wave, it is from a top to a top, a bottom to the bottom, or middle point to the midpoint. All of them are 360 degrees. Moving forward, when it moves 180 degrees, so it moves from top to bottom, is 180 degrees. When it moves from bottom to top, again 180 degrees, or from middle point to the middle point on the other side, that is also 180 degrees. So the movement of the planet around this sun, or the movement of the planet in its orbit, is what creates the time cycles. Time itself is basically movement of the planet. Okay. Now, a quarter cycle is again 90 degrees. So it moves 90 degrees on the circle. That is a quarter cycle, which is 1/4. It's simple logic. Full cycle, half cycle, and a quarter cycle. Now these ones affect the market. How do they do? That's what I'm heading into next. Now these time cycles which we have seen, the full cycle, the quarter cycle, the half cycle, the half cycle and the quarter cycle expand and contract. They are not constant. Meaning, how does it happen? Now you may have heard that the planet does not move in a perfect circle. It actually moves in an elliptical orbit. How is the elliptical orbit formed? It is formed by when two circles join together with one point of this one circle, which is in our case, in the solar system, the sun is at the center of one circle. The other part is blank, it's a space, there's nothing there. And the planet moves around this, moves around the sun in an elliptical orbit. So if you see carefully, all these angles which I have drawn are 30 degrees. But because the sun is in one corner of the ellipse, or one radius of the ellipse, the other radius is empty space, the distance that it covers, see on the left hand side, when it is closer to the sun, is very less. Whereas when it comes to the opposite side, the distance that the planet has to travel for the same 30 degrees is larger. So this distance, which on the left hand side is covered faster, and the distance on the right hand side takes a longer time. So 30 degrees, if you take the full circle, the time taken by the planet to complete the full circle is constant. That does not change. What changes? The quarter cycles and the half cycles and the 1/12th cycle, which is the 30-degree points, these have varying periods. Which is why a 7-year cycle, which we hear so much in the market, is never 7 years. It is a little more than 7, or sometimes it is less than 7. Which is why we have a different periods. I'll explain when I show you next, when I show the movement of the earth around the sun, how these actually make our calendar a perfectly logical fit. Okay, now let's move ahead. Let's say that the earth moves around the sun in 365.25 days. That is what we know very well. But when it moves from the sun crosses from the equator, above the equator, or the earth crosses above the equator, whatever, we call it March 23 to April 23, when we say that the sun is in Aries, which is, according to the ancient people, is the first month. So the earth travels around the sun, and we have this. So you must have also asked the question, July has 31 days, August has 31 days, why does July and August have 31 days and February have only 29 days or 28 days? It's very clear when you look at all this that we have arbitrarily used a few things, but when you look at this, though this is not exactly perfectly drawn, when it is in July and August, the earth is traveling the maximum distance, which is why July and August have 31 days each. not because it comes on your knuckles that after four you will get again a bigger bump on your knuckle. That, and February has 29 days because in February the Earth is closest to the Sun and it is traveling the shortest distance. So you see the planet, though it is moving at a more or less similar speed, it is still taking a longer time for the same 30 degrees. So January February में time बहुत जल्दी खत्म हो जाता है. In 29 8 days a whole month is completed. But in August, in July and August, 62 days is taken for 2 months. So it's not a small one. From 28 to 31, there's almost a 10% difference in the duration. So if you take a 7-year period, so a 10% deviation in a 7-year period is almost 9 months. Clear? Yes, the video is recorded and you can watch the video on YouTube as many number of times as you want later on. Alright? Now once this is clear, let's move forward to some interesting fact. In Hindi, 7 is called Sat. In Sanskrit, it is called Sapta. In Latin it is septum. In Hindi, 8 is 8. In Sanskrit, it is Ashta. And in Latin, it is octam. Similarly, you have Nava and Dasa. Does this remind you of anything? Very simple, no? You have September, October, November, December. So September, truly speaking, is the 7th month. October is the 8th month. November is the 9th month and December is the 10th month. But if you see our calendar, September is not the 7th month. September is the 9th month and December is the 12th month. So where are we making the mistake? If you take any computerized program and chart a yearly chart, okay, it will start in January. But the natural movement of the sun of the planets as the ancients or as time was devised, it was actually starting in March and starting in 23rd of March and ending on the 22nd of March. But the computerized systems, because of the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar, do not give you that. It is always from January to December, which is why your charts do not perform perfectly. Similarly, when you draw a monthly chart, the monthly chart is always from 1st of the month to the 30th of the month, which is not a natural month. The natural month is from full moon to full moon or a new moon to new moon. You need to make the effort of drawing a chart by hand using the full moon and the new moon dates and make the chart, or make from full new moon to half moon and make weekly charts. Then the charts will start speaking to you in a different language altogether. Try it and see. Yes, it is a lot of effort. It is a lot of time you need to make a chart. But once you make it, the chart will tell you something else completely. Now, why do they tell? Why does this work? Because very few actually look at a chart from these points. They only look at the RSI. They only look at the other things which don't work. They only the latest one is everyone wants to do an algo. Let the computer do everything. Arey Baba, whatever computer can do, whatever coding you can do, your coding and anybody can do. It is just looking at the moving average or looking at some XYZ data and then doing it. Whereas you are leaving, even there, you are leaving half the equation out. Anyways, let's move forward. If this makes you surprised, September, October, November, December, think about it. There are a lot of things which you are not aware, which you are forgetting completely and you are not even paying attention to. Now, when we look at cycles, there are two kinds of cycles. Alright, now we saw what is a cycle. Cycle is a planet moving around the sun or the earth. Now, there is one cycle which we call the sidereal cycle, which is one planet moving around another body. Alright, in this case, the sun. So, This complete movement of this planet is called a sidereal cycle. Alright. Today in this presentation we will look at one sidereal cycle and the other one which is called a synodic cycle. I'll explain what is a synodic. We will look at the sidereal cycle of Uranus and synodic cycle of Saturn Uranus. Now the synodic cycle is basically two planets. Now watch these two planets. One is moving slower, one is moving faster. So they start at some point in time, they start together. Then the faster moving planet will go around and then it will catch up with the slower moving planet. The time from the time they are to the duration between the two when they are together to the next time they are together is called a synodic cycle, like this. So you see the small faster planet goes around and then it catches with the slower planet. So when it catches, one cycle is complete. Now it is going on, it's the next cycle. Then it catches back again, that's second cycle complete. Then it goes around again. Then it is the second cycle, third cycle, and it keeps going on and on and on. So give me a yes in the chat if you have understood so far, and I will move ahead. Okay, lovely. Now, today we will look at two very large cycles. The Uranus sidereal cycle, which means the Uranus going around the Sun. A full cycle of Uranus lasts 84 years. The half cycle, 180 degrees, lasts 42 years. The quarter cycle of Uranus is 90 degrees, which is very important, which is 21 years, which I have been talking about for over 4 months now. Then you have the 1/12 cycle or 30-degree movement of Uranus, which is the 7-year cycle. You may have heard that the market has a 7-year cycle. I'll prove to you that the 7-year cycle exists. Now, during this time, you have to understand that 7 years is not constant. It keeps expanding and contracting. So, if you go back in history and study, 92, we had the great Harshad Mehta scam and the markets collapsed. In the year 2000, 8 years later, expanding cycle, we had the markets, the dot-com boom and then the dot-com bust. So 8 years later, again expanding cycle, which is like July and August, 31 days. You had the 2008 big boom and then there was a bust. Then you go ahead to 2015, we had Brexit. For 2 years, the market was on a sideways mode till 2016. Add another 8 years to 2015 and we are here today onto the 2024. Now this got a little delayed because of a few reasons which I will explain and you will understand when we look at the charts. Now the other cycle is a full cycle of Saturn-Uranus synodic cycle, which is 45 years. Now understand, two 45-year cycles and 84-year cycle. This becomes 90 and this becomes 84. Similarly, 45 years and 42 years, 22 and a half years and 21 years. They are very close, these ones. So what happens, I will explain. So the Saturn synodic cycle is 45 years, the half cycle is 22 and a half years, the quarter cycle is 11.25 years and the half 30-degree cycle is 45 months. All right. Now, what actually happens during the market with these cycles? The Uranus cycle corresponds with market correlation. How does it correlate? This is how the quarter cycles work. For 21 years, you have a market going up. Then for 21 years, you have the market coming down. Then for 21 years, the market goes up. Then for 21 years, the market comes down. This is the largest understanding of the market. This is the biggest cycle that we can observe with the data that we have at hand. We don't have much data, but this is the data that we have at hand. All right. Now, this can also appear like this. It need not be that it will retrace back to the original point. The quarter cycle can also appear like this, but it will still be 21 up, 21 down, 21 up, 21 down. Now within these quarter cycles again, the patterns are like this. So you have this 21 years, but you will have 7 years up, 7 years down, 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 7 years up, 7 years down. All right. But it can also take another form. Hey, why am I here? Sorry. Yep. All right. Okay. Now we have understood that it can take this form also. All right. Now sometimes it even does a up down in the 30 degrees, an up down in the 30 degrees, and then one up. Then it does a down up, down up. There are a few permutations and combinations possible here. I'm not going into all the details because that will get too complex. So let's move a little ahead and see the expansion which happens. Now we have seen that 1/12 of the cycle is 7 years of Uranus sidereal cycle is 7 years, which is 30 degrees is 7 years. 84 divided by 12 is 7. Now the Saturn Uranus synodic cycle, 1/12 cycle or 30 degrees is 45 months, or this could be 84 months and this is 90 months. This is the most critical part you have to understand, based on which you can forecast the market over a long time. If you have understood this much from here, how both of them are more or less similar with just a 6-month gap between them, I will move ahead. Give me a yes if you have understood till now. Super. Alright, very good. Thank you everyone for your response. That's very good. Alright, now let's move a little ahead. Now we also seen that time cycles expand and contract, especially the 30-degree movements and the 60-degree price movements. Alright, so what happens is this 84-month Uranus 30 degrees expands and contracts. Alright. Similarly, the 90-month Saturn, Uranus, Saturn expands and contracts. So if you measure from one point, what happens is sometimes Uranus 30 degrees happens before Saturn Uranus 60 degrees. Sometimes Uranus 30 degrees happens after Saturn Uranus 60 degrees. Now this makes a big difference in the market. How? Let me show you. Now let's say this is 90 degrees and we have 2 points, Uranus 30 degrees in between. So this is 21 years, this is approximately 7 years, the two red stars represent 7 years, 14 years, and the end of this represents the 90-degree cycle. Now in this, if Saturn Uranus comes first, because the direction is up, if Saturn Uranus comes first at 60 degrees, it will put in a top, and Uranus 30 will put in a bottom. Then again Saturn Uranus 120 will put in a top. It's the same repetition of the earlier cycle. But that cycle starts from here, and then you have the Uranus 60 degrees. Then you will get the Saturn Uranus coming first. But the rule here is, because it is a 90 degree movement of Uranus, which has to start at a bottom and end in a top. So Saturn Uranus, now because it comes earlier, will put in a bottom, and then Uranus will put in a top. Clear? I will show you this working like a clockwork on the charts. We will move to the real market application in the next 2 minutes. You understand? If Uranus 30 was to come before, Saturn Uranus comes later, it will put in a, Uranus 30 will put in a top. So the positions can change depending on the cycle's speed and the time taken to complete the cycles. I hope that is clear. And if that is clear, I will move ahead to the real market charts. Give me a yes if it is clear. Then we can see the magic of the markets. Not many. I'm just getting one yes. I'm not getting into the, okay, there's a question why only Saturn Uranus time cycle. See, I am not getting into the smaller time cycles. Because Nifty stands at a very important inflection point today, I want to highlight something which many people are not aware. Nobody knows what is going to hit them. We will see it on the charts, then you will understand. Alright, lovely. Thank you. I will answer the questions later in the question and answer session. Kirti Sharma, just wait with me, because the YouTube format does not let me take questions all the time. Okay, now let's look at the real markets. Does it really work? All this seems very nice. Alright, if you need explanation again, just watch the video later. Okay, the video will be free and available on YouTube all the time. Okay, now real market application. Let's look at gold. Now, if you have look at the gold monthly. Now, in this we are looking at monthly charts, because we are looking at extreme long-term charts and trying to understand what is happening in the extreme views. So let's see what is going on. Now, in 1979, gold hit a top of 986, and then it came down. Alright. Now, when you measure, later on I will take you on real charts and show you by measuring it with my software exactly how it works. This was an exact 90 degrees of Uranus, and this right now is gold exact 90 degrees. So you see there was a 21-year down cycle and there is a 21-year up cycle. Very simple. Within that, you had Uranus 30 top to top, you had again another top to top, and then you had a top to bottom. Okay. Similarly, you had Uranus 30 top to bottom, bottom to bottom, and the last 30 degrees has been bottom to top. I will show you how this is Saturn 180 when we look at the real charts. You could have forecast this entire movement here. It was very, very easy and simple. So now you decide what's coming next. So far, I have shown you what will happen after a 21-year upcycle or a down cycle in the market theoretically. Now, will this work or not? You decide for yourself. I am not giving any forecast. Now, let's move ahead. This is silver. The pattern looks so different, but when you see, it is the same 90 degrees of Uranus price movement, and this is again the same 90 degrees of Uranus movement. Now within this, Uranus 30, Uranus 30, Uranus 30, Uranus 30, Uranus 30, Uranus 30. Alright, now let's look further. Anything new? Nothing new. It has the same price movement of the planet. This is Saturn. This was Saturn Uranus 90 degrees. Why does it put it up with the Saturn Uranus 90 degrees? Alright. Now you have the Nikkei. We saw gold, silver, then now let's look at the Nikkei. The Nikkei, if you remember, for 40 years it did not come back to test. What actually happened? You had a quarter cycle of Uranus exact 90 degrees. Then you had Uranus 30, Uranus 30, Uranus 30. Then you had a Uranus 30. Then the next 30 degrees of Nikkei will come in December 2027. What will it post here? It will post a bottom. Okay. I will take all these charts really and I will take my tool and measure it and show it to you. Alright, so you see December 2027 you will have a bottom in the Nikkei. I don't care what it is doing now. Now here is again NYMEX crude oil. An exact 90 degrees. The next 90 degrees down movement, I don't care what crude is doing right now, but NYMEX crude oil will hit a bottom of Uranus 90 degrees in October 2030. We are 6 years away from that. Now within this, these were the cycles. Interesting. Alright. Now this is the natural gas monthly. Now if you look at it, this first 30 degrees was here, the next 30 degrees is here, the next 30 degrees is here, the next 30 degrees is here. So the question arises, what if my starting point is incorrect? It does not matter. Uranus 30 degrees will give you the same. It will give you the same. Up, down, up. Or up, down, down. Now where is this heading? Think about it. You know the answer yourself. Everyone wants, what will happen to natural gas? What will happen to natural gas? What will happen to crude? What will happen? Baba, it is very simple. Now this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Exact 30 degrees, 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 30 degrees, 30 degrees, and so on and so on and so on. Okay. Now this is our Nifty. 30 degrees of Uranus. See, from the bottom of 2001, the bottom in 2008 is an exact 30 degrees. Some of you know who have been following me from 2008 that I had caught this top here, I'd caught this top here, you know it, and we traded. So this is an exact 30 degrees, and we are here at an exact 30. And Uranus moves 1 degree in 3 months, which is why for the last 3 to 4 months I've only been screaming, watch out, there's something deadly coming in the market. What's coming next after a 21-year upside move? Decide for yourself. Now this is the quarter cycle, 21 years of up move. Now did this actually work? Interestingly, let's see what happened with Saturn Uranus. Saturn Uranus put in the 2008 top. What we studied earlier, whichever comes first will put in the top if it is an upcycle, and the next one will put in a bottom. Again, Saturn Uranus 60 degrees put in this top, and the bottom came in 30 degrees Uranus. Now the next one, Saturn Uranus will move faster than Uranus 30 degrees, which is why Saturn Uranus will put in a bottom. I don't know how many remember, November last year I was screaming this market is not put in a bottom, we have a long way to go up. I cannot give the exact details, reasons on Twitter. I don't want to highlight anything on Twitter. And this is exactly what happened. If you just knew that Saturn Uranus will hit 180 degrees and the market is likely to turn, the day it turns, you know it is for sure that it is going to wait till Uranus 30 is complete, till the market completes. There is no manipulation in the market, there is nothing going on new in the market, everything is going according to the cycles perfectly. Now you decide what is coming next. Simple. Don't follow what people talk in the news, don't follow the fin influencer, don't follow, you decide the time cycles work best. Now why am I doing this webinar here? Why am I making this? I just want to give a warning to everyone. You don't know what is coming, you don't know what is going to hit. The minute that hits, it's already started, but by the time you realize what is happening, it's too late in the markets. Don't get caught on the wrong side of the markets. There's a lot of buy on dips. Market will not break this level, that level. If that was the case, market would not be declining the way it has been declining for the last 1 month. It's almost 1 month. Today is the 27th. We started declining from 26th of September. So far we have seen what is time. We have seen what is time, we have seen time cycles, we have seen expansion and contraction, we saw sidereal and synodic time cycles, and we saw some real market application. Now I am open to taking questions. Ask and I will answer. Type your question in the window and I will try to answer. It may be a little delayed because of the way YouTube gives a 60-second gap between what I speak and what is transmitted live. Good morning, Hippo. Any questions? If not, I'll pull up charts. I'll pull up the software, I'll pull up the charts, and we can see for ourselves. Yes, they can be used on individual stocks. I will just show you. I am pulling up the software. No, it doesn't work like that, Sanjeev. There is not like that. Shashi Kumar, it doesn't work like that. Time cycle for 30 days. No, you have to modify yourself. You have to adapt to the natural time cycles. When will it bottom? Take at the minimum 7 years to bottom. This kind of knowledge, no, I don't know of any book which explains this. You will have to study Gann, tunnel through there, dig through it. It is not very crystal clear how it works. You have to decode the book. The book is written in a code. I'll explain. Which one? This is, see, the Saturn and Uranus movement or movement of the planets can be figured out years in advance. So you know which will end first. Whichever ends first will be the one which will put in the top, which will put in the bottom. All right. Then the next point, let me pull up Nifty monthly first. Then I will show you by why only these two planets, because this is what I wanted to highlight. The smaller circles I am not highlighting, because the smaller cycles and everything I teach in my now here's the Nifty chart, a real market chart. All right. Now this is the software which I use, which is called Timing Solution. All right. Now December to September 2001, there was this. Now from here to here, let me get this out. We will see, as I said, Saturn, Uranus. Is it a perfect 60? You see, this is a measuring tool. It will measure everything. There's a top at 45. There's a top at 22 and a half. And then there's a top at 60. You can see for yourself how this works. It is not as simple as I am drawing. There's a lot of theory to learn. If you want to learn, do come to the mentoring program, then I will show you. Could you have forecast this top in 2004? Yes. Could you have forecast this top in 2006? Yes. Could you have forecast this top in 2008? Yes. Could you have forecast this top in 2015? Yes. Could you have forecast this bottom in 2023? Yes. Can you see 179? 179.24. That's 180 degrees. So 60, 120, 180. Top, top, bottom. Top, top, bottom. Alright, now I'll change it to Uranus. bottom, bottom, top. Let me add one more so that it becomes clear what is happening. So you see, Saturn Uranus put in the top at 60, Uranus put in the bottom, not here, here at 30. Yes, you have 120, 118, 119, 120. Okay, then you have bottom at 60. क्लियर. अब 60 पे हुआ, 120 पे हुआ, तो 180 पे होगा कि नहीं? 100% होगा. 30 पे हुआ, 60 पे हुआ, 90 पे टॉप लगाएगा कि नहीं? 100% लगाएगा. Which is why for the last 3 to 4 months I had only made one thing. This market is heading down. Don't make a mistake. This market is heading down. You don't know what is going to hit you. This market is going to kill people. It has made a fool of everyone in the last 21 years. Narrative क्या है? What is the narrative right now? Narrative is the market only dips for a short time and then goes up. Dips for a short time and then goes up. Dips for a short time and go up. अरे बाबा 21 years was a bull run. 21 year up market था. तो 21 ईयर डाउन मार्केट आएगा. यहाँ पे आपको कंडीशन कर दिया है. तो क्या बोलते हैं? कुछ भी हो जाए, मार्केट थोड़ा डिप होगा, ऊपर जाएगा. अच्छा ऐसा? ठीक है, देखते हैं. लेट अस सी. डज इट रियली हैपन? फ्रॉम 92 ऑल द वे टू 2000, ऑल द वे टू 1909. ओके, लुक एट दिस हियर. क्या हुआ? मार्केट कुछ किया? कितने साल गए? 92 से 99. It just did not do anything. Again, it is the same 7 years 30-degree movement of Uranus. हो गए 30 degrees of Uranus. Now, forget whether the market will decline. If Nifty just decides to just oscillate between these 2 points here, between 26,000 and 18,000 for the next 7 years, what will happen to all your plans? Nobody wants to think about it. Alright, let me show you a few other things. I'm just converting the EOD data to monthly data. हो गया. Now when did Asian Paints put in a top? In 2021. 2021 से निफ्टी क्या किया? Nifty went up almost 40% from 2021 to 2023. Why did Asian Paint, the darling of the markets, not go up? Here's your answer. इससे भी पहले बढ़ा था. You have to go back further. Sorry. It finished at 90 in 2021. There's more data. You have to actually go back there all the way, then you will get an exact 90. आ गए? हो गया इसका काम. इसीलिए for the last 3 years it has not done anything at all. What has it done in the last 30 degrees? It's just been shooting up and shooting up and shooting up. Now here's the 60-degree point. Was it there? Yes, it is there. Okay. Now you name the chart. I'll try to pick it up. Anyone wants to name any chart? Let me go. I have never seen Infosys chart. Let's see. Infosys. Download data. Wait a second. Come on. Come on, come on. Alright, okay. Ajao. Okay. Exchange location. Bombay. Okay. Yes. Auto splits remover. Convert. EOD to monthly. Okay. Okay. Calculate. क्या लगता है? It will be the same, no, as Nifty. $30, $29, $60, $90. आ गया? Alright. क्या है बाबा? ये क्या है? ये क्या है, 120 हो गया, 120 के बाद मैं 60 तक नीचे आया था. It's the same. Now each one has smaller things which are going on inside. Now these ones I cannot explain in an hour. It takes about 6 months to understand all the cycles. So Saturn, Uranus, and Uranus are not the only cycles. There are several smaller cycles. There are even cycles which go as low as the moon and the Earth's rotation around itself. So the cycles are like 4 minutes. They are for like an hour or 2 days, 3 days. So you have many different cycles where you can forecast the high-low sequence and all of that. Now, all of that is very in-depth study. The reason I was doing this is to show what is the biggest time cycles. One more, somebody has HDFC Bank. Okay. आ जाओ, exchange location Bombay. Okay. Yes. Auto split remover. Convert to monthly. Okay. Okay. Calculate. क्या लगता है? What do you think? Is it the same? It's the same. This will be 60 degrees of Uranus. This will be 60 degrees of Uranus. हो गया? This will be 30 degrees of Uranus here. हो गया? Because they all are the major constituents of Nifty. They are the ones which make the Nifty pattern happen. यहाँ कहीं है. तो 90 पे रुक जाएगा इधर. 85, 90 इधर रुक गया. उसके बाद में इसके ऊपर नहीं गया. All those people who are looking at HDFC Bank to rally होगा नहीं. Rally होगा नहीं. 90 खत्म हो गया. When everything turns, they will all turn into a 21-year bear market. Clear? I hope that makes things very clear for everyone. Alright, and we are already an hour and 15 minutes. I guess I've had enough. If you want to see the video again, go back, watch the video. If you want to know where the planetary movement can be found out from, there's a software called Astrolog. Astrolog, Log. Download, learn to how to use it, and you can keep. Harneet, go back to understanding expansion and contraction of time cycles. You will understand why 21 also is 23 is also 21. Watch the video again, watch the part on expansion and contraction of cycles. In the current scenario as per your cycle, which stocks or sectors could be in uptrend? I have not seen. Sir, can we calculate how much will be our fall or rise? Yes, but I am not showing it today. We can forecast many things in the market. Understand that the bear market minimum target 21 years, we have no I am not forecasting here. The gold bear market, gold fell from 986 to 202. Silver bear market, silver fell from $49 to $1. You cannot play 21 years up and down. Right now you are in a down cycle, so there is. I am not the advisor to tell you how. I am just showing you the time cycles and showcasing. If you want to know more in detail, you have to come to one of the mentoring programs. It can. All these questions which you are asking cannot be addressed in a 1 hour session. The idea of this entire presentation today was to give a continuation to what the presentation on given in AlgoX, because there I could not show these measurements and didn't have much data. Now there is someone who said Biocon. Let's see. I have not seen Biocon. This will be the last chart I will take up. Download data. Download data. Okay. Exchange location Mumbai. Okay. Yes. Auto splits remover. Convert to monthly. Okay. Okay. Calculate. All right. Interesting. देखते हैं. ये लो था, ये टॉप है. कौन सा साइकिल चल रहा है? लेट मी सी. यूरेनस 45 डिग्री यूरेनस हो गया ना. ये इधर 30 था शायद. ये लो. और क्या? This is 30. This is 45. This is 60. हो गया. This is 59. It may go up. It may go up. I have no idea. I have to study it in detail. I have never studied this. Studying the time cycles, you need a lot more data. This is where it started. This was the original one. This is 30 degrees. This is 60 degrees. Okay. Yes, sir. It still has time to go. Because of the larger scheme of things, it can put in a bottom somewhere around 2027. Because here was 30 degrees. Here is 60 degrees. This should be around 75. Perfect. 75. 90 should be one more bottom, and then we should see a. Because it began from a top, this has to be at a bottom. Gold, silver, crude all are I am using timing solution, not astrolog. People who come to the personal mentoring program, I will suggest them to buy the timing solution software. It's not very expensive, and in just one trade it will give you all the money. It will return all the cost of the software in just one trade. Imagine if you just got this here at 60 degrees and you bought Biocon. It rallied from 212 in 2019 and it went all the way up to 470. How much money you would have made? Here, everything in the universe makes 21-year high cycles. Everything. Be it real estate, be it interest rates, be it everything makes. I don't have. Do I have crypto data? Let me see. Bitcoin. Download data. Of course, it will work. But do we have the data? Exchange location क्या दो चलो न्यूयॉर्क ही देते हैं. Okay. Convert monthly. Okay. Okay. Calculate. First things first. इस होने को आया. Okay. Now, since that is not working, it's too little data. Let's go to Saturn, Uranus. You understand? ये क्या है? 30 degrees of Saturn, Uranus. Has it brought a change? Yes. 45 degrees of Saturn, Uranus. Has it brought a change? Yes. Twenty-two and a half degrees of Uranus, Saturn, Uranus. Has it brought a change? Double 22 and a half, you come to 45. So there's a lot more of analysis which is there, which I'm not sharing. Because that is for people. So this is again 30 degrees of Saturn, Uranus. Correct? So if you had measured and you would see, you would have caught this low and you would have said, यहाँ से जाएगा ऊपर. How it works, all those details is part of the mentoring program. Details of the mentoring program is shown on Twitter. Just contact me later. I hope that answered a lot of your questions, and I hope it gave you information about how the x-axis or the time axis actually gives you a lot more specific and precise trades, and it will tell you how to forecast what will happen in the markets. And if you have any questions, just shoot me on Twitter and I will try to answer whatever I can. Thank you so much. And I wish you a great day for the rest of the day. It's been 1.5 hours. And thank you all for sparing my time. And if you like, do hit the like button and share to spread this knowledge and share to reach more people who can be saved from what is coming in the market. One warning I'll give you, you don't know what is going to hit, and many things which you may not like are about to come. People are expecting minor corrections. No, this correction will be very deep, very steep, and it will be devastating. Watch out and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.